Basilosaurus, the lizard whale that hunts sharks and whales. Life has existed on Earth for about 4 billion years, and several ancient creatures could be described as really horrifying. One of these terrible-looking prehistoric animals is Basilosaurus. Picture a snake as long as a school bus or even longer, with a crocodile head plus crazily long, sharp teeth. That's exactly what the wild creature looks like. Join me as we dive into the world of the lizard whales that hunt sharks and whales, Basilosaurus. Despite its misleading name, Basilosaurus is not a reptile, but a whale. It has a long snake-like body that gracefully moves through the sea, much like the legendary sea serpent from folklore. Its head resembles that of a crocodile adorned with sharp teeth. The creature looks more like a humpback or blue whale, however its body is distinctly more serpentine and elongated. But there's something peculiar about Basilosaurus, its back flippers, which are small remnants of its hind limbs. In terms of size, it's like a mosasaurus, yet surprisingly, it can pass through a dinosaur gate. And do you know that whales haven't always been ocean dwellers? Their ancestors were originally land dwellers. It was only about 50 million years ago that their ancestors made the transition to living in water. However, this transition was not a smooth one, as they experienced a period of adaptation before evolving into the magnificent whales we are familiar with today. The adaptation period was nothing short of horrifying, considering the nature of their transformation. A good example of the creatures of this transitional period is the Basilosaurus. Now, let's talk more about this strange wild creature. Basilosaurus means king reptile, despite not being a reptile but a mammal. Despite their name, they are more closely related to modern-day cetaceans like whales and dolphins. Basilosaurus' first fossils were discovered in the United States in the early 19th century. Though they had a small pelvis and hind limbs, surprisingly they were fully aquatic and incapable of walking on land. Compared to a modern whale, Basilosaurus had a primitive skull and a small brain. However, it made up for what it lacked in brain power with its formidable bite. With a large, blade-like set of teeth adorned with numerous cusps, Basilosaurus possessed a crucial characteristic that allowed early paleontologists to identify it as a mammal. The ancient whale sliced, crushed, and punctured its food with these teeth, indicating a significant bite force. Recent studies revealed that Basilosaurus could bite down with nearly 4,000 pounds of force. This is the highest bite force recorded for a mammal and is proportionally more powerful than the bite of a crocodilian with a similar-sized skull. Do you know what else they found? Scientists have found fossil evidence suggesting that Basilosaurus gave birth to live young rather than laying eggs. Considering all these factors, Basilosaurus stood out as the largest predator on Earth during its time. Its diet included bony fishes, sharks, sea cows, turtles, and other whale species. The evidence supporting this claim comes from fossils of Basilosaurus discovered with the remains of their last meals still retained within, as well as bones of unfortunate prey displaying distinct marks left by the teeth of this fearsome predator. For instance, the discovery of holes in the skulls of smaller Dorodon whales, precisely aligning with Basilosaurus premolars, implies that it also targeted marine mammals as prey. Basilosaurus was an impressively large whale, measuring 49 to 60 feet in length, with a long body resembling a snake or eel. It belonged to a group of early whales known as Archaeocetes, meaning ancient whales. It is believed that Basilosaurus navigated through the water by means of an undulating motion, similar to waves. It used its tail to propel itself forward, while its forelimbs acted as flippers for steering, and its sturdy ribs for stability while swimming. Let's talk about the hind legs mentioned earlier. Basilosaurus had hind legs. Similar to land-dwelling mammals and other early whales, they were incredibly small. With a body longer than a school bus, Basilosaurus had hinds shorter than a person's arms. The most bizarre thing was its hind limbs and hips were not connected to its backbone. Legs like this couldn't bear weight and weren't used for walking, but they were functional. With movable joints and the ability to rotate, they used their hind limbs as guides during mating. Based on Basilosaurus pictures, you can tell this whale was pretty big, and it was. In fact, it weighed around 15 tons. It was longer than a semi-trailer and was approximately as heavy as a modern cruise ship's anchor. Even its name means king lizard, but Basilosaurus wasn't a lizard at all. It was a strange predatory whale. And here is the twist. One would expect that such an enormous creature would be deadly, but contrary to most large marine animals, Basilosaurus is not aggressive, and generally tolerates the presence of other creatures unless provoked. In its natural habitat, the Basilosaurus can frequently be observed calmly swimming in shallow areas of the ocean. It often forms groups with Ichthyosaurus and Manta, who accompany it during its peaceful strolls. Despite its considerable size and diet, the Basilosaurus is harmless, except for the Manta, which protectively surrounds it and is ready to attack any aggressor. When the Basilosaurus is threatened, the Ichthyosaurus gets alarmed and swiftly swims away. When feeding, the Basilosaurus releases a red cloud substance around its mouth that we presume to be blood. This may attract nearby animals, including aggressive Megalodon and Manta. Amazingly, Basilosaurus is a remarkable swimmer that adapts well to shallow waters, so rapidly allowing it to rapidly recover from injuries sustained near the water's surface. Conversely, it's susceptible to the pressure of the deep water, which slowly causes it harm. Remember, Basilosaurus is usually accompanied by other predatory creatures, drawn by its feeding habits that provide ample scraps for scavengers. One hypothesis suggests that the Basilosaurus used a combination of strategies to hunt down its prey. Its sharp teeth, similar to modern toothed whales, were well suited for grabbing and holding onto prey. Additionally, its elongated body and muscular tail allowed for quick and efficient movements, enabling it to chase down fast-swimming targets. The Basilosaurus likely relied on its speed and maneuverability to catch its prey, rather than using brute force due to its relatively slender build. The occurrence of Basilosaurus fossils alongside the remains of other marine creatures suggests that these ancient whales were prevalent in warm, shallow seas. It is believed that they might have inhabited coastal regions and used these environments as hunting grounds. The warm waters would have provided an abundance of prey, including fish, sharks, and smaller marine mammals. And that's not all. Let's examine a few more uncommon, fascinating facts about this lizard whale. Scientists also believe that Basilosaurus was an active predator that used its streamlined body to glide through the water and catch its prey efficiently. It is estimated that Basilosaurus could reach speeds of up to 20 miles per hour. Basilosaurus had a unique respiratory system different from that of modern whales. When Basilosaurus fossils were first studied in 1833, scientists were amazed to find that instead of the blowholes modern whales have, Basilosaurus had nostrils on the front of its snout. Plus, a slender body meant the creature's lungs weren't big enough to hold its breath for long periods, so it probably had to hunt mostly in shallow waters or near the surface. Honestly, Basilosaurus is an intriguing creature that provides valuable insights into the ancient marine world and the evolution of whales. Although the majority of Basilosaurus bones have been discovered in Alabama, where the creature holds the notable distinction of being the state fossil, a slightly smaller species of Basilosaurus can be found in Egypt. In 2010, paleontologists had the opportunity to unearth a significant number of fossils belonging to hundreds of this particular species, identified as B. isis, in a location known as Wadi al-Hitan, which is approximately 140 kilometers southwest of Cairo. Notably, this excavation also yielded fossils of other fascinating creatures, such as the Dorodon atrox, a smaller whale, as well as crocodiles, snakes, fish, sharks, and even relatives of sea cows. There's still so much we don't know about Basilosaurus because some of its body parts weren't preserved long enough for scientists to study extensively. Typically, little to nothing remains of an animal that has been deceased for millions of years, but we know that Basilosaurus was the largest carnivore of its era. Although not as intelligent as modern whales, Basilosaurus possessed sufficient cognitive abilities to function as a formidable predator. Its cranial morphology and brain capacity exhibited characteristics more akin to those of its land-dwelling ancestors, reflecting its ancient lineage. However, despite these evolutionary limitations, Basilosaurus possesses a notable level of intelligence that allows it to engage in ambush tactics effectively and pursue its prey with deadly precision. It also possesses formidable brainpower to hunt down smaller sharks, ancient whales of smaller structure, and even semi-aquatic creatures like the Moatherium. Just as mosasaurs evolved following the extinction of the mighty ichthyosaurs, Basilosaurus represents a vital evolutionary phase in developing aquatic adaptations among whales. The final stages of mosasaur evolution, just before the catastrophic extinction event known as the KT extinction, witnessed the emergence of caudal fins. Similarly, Basilosaurus, in its role as a whale precursor, adapted gradually but clearly towards an aquatic lifestyle, signifying the incredible process of transformation that unfolded over millions of years. Despite its capabilities as a predator, the Basilosaurus eventually went extinct, like many other ancient whale species. The exact reasons for their extinction are still uncertain, but several factors may have contributed to their demise. Changes in climate and the availability of food sources could have played a significant role. Additionally, competition with other predators and shifts in the marine ecosystem could have also affected their survival. That will be all for today. We hope you enjoyed the video.